So the question was, what are our thoughts on the health impact of nitrates outside of performance? You know, we've talked about the performance benefits, but this is outside of performance. The question continues. Seems like there is a popular consensus that leafy green nitrates are healthy, but nitrates in meat are linked with cancer through a nitrate to nitrite to nitrosamine conversion in the gut. Is there any good evidence out there? So there's a really nice review paper by Nathan Bryan, and the title is Inorganic Nitrite and Nitrate, Evidence to Support Consideration as Dietary Nutrients. And Nathan Bryan has done a lot of research in the nitrate space. I've even seen him go so far as to argue it should be considered a vitamin. So he's done a lot of really cool nitrate research, but they have a nice little figure where they talk about the potential benefits, which are cardiovascular in nature, weighed against the potential risks. So on the benefit side, you've got lower blood pressure, improved vascular function, lower inflammation, improved exercise capacity, improved mitochondrial function, lower triglycerides, less heart attacks, less strokes. And these are cardiovascular benefits, presumably of consuming a diet rich in, a lot of plant-based nitrate sources. And then this is all balanced against the kind of singular risk that you hear about, which is the potential formation of N-nitrosamines, which are presumed to be carcinogenic. There is research that these compounds can be carcinogenic, but the relationship between dietary nitrate and cancer is really complicated and really messy. So intuitively, one might assume that because these nitrosamines can be carcinogenic and they can be derived from nitrate, the idea would be that regardless of nitrate source, a high nitrate diet is likely to increase cancer risk. But the research doesn't really bear that out. And there's actually an interesting study by Song and colleagues where they found that high nitrate intake was actually associated with lower risk of gastric cancer, which the whole nitrosamine idea theoretically would have a particularly high degree of relevance to gastric cancer specifically. So nitrate in this study was actually associated with reduced risk of gastric cancer, but the consumption of nitrites, so not nitrates, but nitrites, and NDMA, which is a nitrosamine, did seem to be risk factors for cancer within this particular study. But what's really fascinating when you dig into some of the epidemiological evidence assessing this question, it looks like you're really not going to get any pushback if you say plant-derived nitrate sources, the fruits and vegetables that are high in nitrate, are unequivocally healthful additions to the diet. You're not going to get any pushback. The place where there is some really interesting debate is whether or not processed meats with high nitrate and nitrite content, whether or not those might be carcinogenic or risk factors for gastric cancer. Some research would suggest yes. Some would suggest a fairly neutral effect. And so the question is about, what is the context of the ingestion of those particular nitrate and nitrite products? Mm-hmm. And when you look at the epidemiological evidence and some of the mechanistic evidence, it would suggest that when you're consuming nitrate in combination with fiber and vitamin C and other antioxidants, it doesn't seem very likely that you're going to get a tremendous amount of nitrosamine formation. And certainly it doesn't seem like these different plant-based nitrate sources that contain fiber and plenty of antioxidants, they simply don't seem to be increasing the risk of gastric cancers to an appreciable degree.